certainly have an eye for quality.
Welcome to the Wandering Stairs, miss. That's the name of my place, and a warning too. Enjoy a drink, but mind the steps on your way out. Many's the drunkard who's taken a tumble, only to wake up in the infirmary.
How remarkably informative.
Heading in for a pint?
Ah, how did you find your new quarters? I trust you were able to rest? I was not aware the room was haunted, and you were rather tired. Well, should you receive another visitation, be sure to let me know. Now, let us return to the subject of the Scion's whereabouts. This map shows the lands of Norvrand, the only area to be spared the Flood of Light. The Crystarium is here, in the region known as Lakeland. To the north is the fairy kingdom of Il-Meg. That is where you'll find Urianger. To the east lies the once prosperous civilization of Rak-Tika. Your Stola is stationed there, in the heart of the forest. Alas, neither location can be reached without considerable difficulty. As such, I would suggest you first seek out one of the twins, each of whom is stationed but a short flight from the Crystarium. Alphino is on Calusia, an island off the western shore. It is home to a city called Yulmore, where the rich and privileged while away their days in idleness. For his part in furthering our cause, Alphino journeyed there to meet with the citizenry and forge alliances. From what I hear, he has since kept himself busy gathering information around the main settlement. Alize, meanwhile, traveled south to the arid wastes of Armareng. They lie upon the very edge of the inhabitable world, where the Flood of Light was halted. Those who dwell there live in constant fear of attack by the Sin-Eaters. In contrast to her brother, Alize felt that her energies would better be spent learning about the enemy, and thus she sells her services as a guard, both to hone her skills and gather information on our foe. So, will it be Calicia or Armareng? It matters not which you choose to visit first. Simply inform me once you have made your decision, and I will see to it that you are provided with a suitable mount. Ah, but you must be wondering about Thancred. He has taken up with a new companion, and is presently engaged as a wandering hunter of Sin-Eaters. Being ever on the move, his whereabouts are often difficult to ascertain, but I am certain your paths will cross ere long.
You will visit Alphino in Colusia, then? Excellent. As I mentioned, your destination is an island off the west coast, so you will need a mount capable of making the journey. Here is a letter of introduction. Present it to Sem Genmai, the Master of Beasts at Temenos Rookery, and he will take care of you. When you see Alphino, be sure to pass on my warmest regards.
Your face is unknown to me. What business have you at my rookery? Signed by the Exarch, no less. Yes, I can provide you with an Amaro for passage to Colusia. That's right. Mounts like my grey friend over there are a common sight in these parts. But I gather you hail from further afield, more accustomed to chocobars, perchance. Seeing as you are plainly unaccustomed to riding Amaro, I think it best I accompany you on this flight myself. Any Zun worthy of the name could do it, of course, but the Exarch sent you to me. Ensuring you arrive safely is my responsibility. Gather your things and meet me at the Amaro launch. One of the junior tamers will attend to you while I ready the mounts.
The whistling breeze, mute. The pounding surf, frozen. Time itself takes a breath. At light's edge, all is perfectly still. The world captured in a painting, locked in a moment. Music, faint and fleeting, drifts coastward on the lifeless air. And in the distance, beyond the broken earth, a city beckons.
We are arrived. This is Cracked Shell Beach on the eastern coast of Colusia. You should be safe here for the present. Compared to the mainland, Sin-Eater attacks are far less prevalent, and the native beasts are not any more dangerous than elsewhere. It is the people you should be wary of. Spy you that city in the distance? That is Yulmore, the island's main settlement. It rivals the Crystarium in scale, and was once an ally in our battle against the abominations. For years, the Yulmoren elite have fancied themselves the masters of what remains of our broken world. They have gone as far as to offer the leaders of other settlements their protection, if we bend the knee. But to say their ideals are questionable would be putting it mildly. The Crystarium is one among many who resist their heavy-handed authority, and while we are not at war, our relationship with Yulmore is strained at best. It may be wise to conceal your ties with the Exarch during your stay here, especially in the vicinity of the city. I'm glad we understand each other. Now the Exarch has instructed me to divulge a secret that should make finding your friend a good deal easier. Listen closely. If you head south along the coast, you will eventually come to a fisherman's shack. A friend of the Crystarium lives there, a man who goes by the name of Ivor. Ivor keeps an eye on everything that happens in Colusia, and will be able to point you in the right direction. Just hand him a sprig of thyme. That will let him know you can be trusted. Find your friend. I will stay here with the Amaro until you are ready to return.
What you after? Fish? Crab? Think I've got an eel in a barrel somewhere if you've a taste for 'em. Ooh, I do love a bit of thyme. Chuck some in the pan, and it's like a bloody festival of flavour. Now what is it I can do for you? Can't say as there's been any major upsets to report these past few weeks. Alfino, eh? Aye, I know the one. Our young champion of the downtrodden. Yulmore's richer than all of Norvrand put together, but it's a different story for them as they live outside the city. Most spend every waking moment just trying to stay alive, which makes your friend's dedication to helping others stand out all the more. Aye, I can hazard a guess as to where he is now, get a message to him. But you'll need somewhere quiet to meet, away from prying eyes. Make for Stilltide. That's the fishing village just up the path there. You're looking for a rundown excuse for a tavern the locals call the Leaky Keel. Wait there, and I'll see that Alfino joins you.
This your first time in a tavern? It's customary to buy a drink if you mean to loiter. What'll you be having? A fine choice. And what'll you be paying with? Well now, those are exotic. Where did you come by coins like that? I'm sorry, dear. I don't doubt they have value, but I don't have a touchstone to test their purity. And I'm not about to go begging for one from the neighbours. So we'll just have to come to some other arrangement. Ah, here's an idea. There's a common to the north where we grow our vegetables, but lately the pests have been eating more of them than we have. What do you say to a bit of extermination work? I want you to squash any vermin you find, then visit the caretaker and give him an earful from me for sleeping on the job. He'll be in the old silo next to the fence, snoring like as not. Do that for me and you can laze about here as long as you like. Welcome back, dear. What did that good-for-nothing caretaker have to say for himself? Gone? Must have left to join the rest of the hopefuls. In Gate Town, outside Yulmore? You don't have a clue what I'm talking about, do you? And there I was, thinking you were another dreamer. Well, never mind all that. Take a seat wherever you like, dear. You've more than earned it. I'll even throw in another drink on the house.
And how is business today, Mistress Theva?
Oh, frenetic. Look, I have a new customer.
"'Tis good to see you, my friend." The barley seeds you wanted. They should produce a better harvest than the last.
What, just like that? Oh, well, Finno, you really are a dear. Well, I'd best be tidying up some of those empty shacks before the pests move in. Keep an eye on the place while I'm out, eh?
It seems an age since last we spoke. Not since the prisoner exchange in Doma. And Yotsu. It has been even longer for me, of course, if you count the days I've spent here. But the time has only added to the relief I feel seeing you safe and well. Huh. Alize said much the same thing. I don't think I've ever had such a scolding. But I believe an exchange of news is in order. Come, tell me of your arrival and all that came before. I see. Both the Exarch and Alize told me what they knew of events, but I had stubbornly clung on to the hope that all-out war might yet be avoidable. And poor Tataru. She must be sick with worry. We must endeavor to return as soon as we may. It would be nice to bring her good tidings for a change. But before we bid this world farewell, we must first ensure that it is not rejoined to the source. We must prevent the 8th Umbral calamity. Urianger's vision of the future has, I fear, every chance of coming true. By his description, the catalyst for the calamity was a formless and deadly weapon employed by the Garlean Empire. Which can only mean one thing: Black Rose. Gaius was telling you the truth. When we were on the trail of the Ascians, we saw evidence that the gas was being manufactured once more. Gaius was adamant that the project had been scrapped, but so long as there are wars to be waged, there will always be those determined to win by any means. And thus simply destroying the existing stores of Black Rose would do little to alter fate's course. In that sense, our involuntary journey here to the First was something of a boon. Together with the Exarch, we've developed a theory as to how we believe the rejoining will be set in motion. I'm sure Urianger himself will cover the subject in more detail. But I can tell you the process requires that both worlds, the Source and the First, be facing an existential threat. One being Sin-Eaters, of course. They are a menace that I would dearly love to remove, and not just to avert a calamity. I may be a stranger to this world, but I will not stand idly by and let innocent people be slaughtered. That is what brought me to the gates of Yulmore. Ignoring its pretensions as a kind of capital city to what remains of the world, it is nonetheless a center of power and authority. If any solutions are to be found, I believe our search should begin there. What say you, old friend? Hungry for another adventure? And so we take to the road once more.
Assuming you have no objections, let us make our way directly to the city outskirts. If we time our arrival just right, you may be lucky enough to see why I have yet to set foot in Yulmore, despite my best efforts to do so. Come. From here, we must head west, and then cross a small bridge. Colusia seems peaceful, does it not? Almost familiar. I had a similar impression of the Crystarium. Even in this distant world, people are much the same. To think that whenever a calamity struck the Source, a reflection such as this one, with all its culture and history, was being erased from existence. Over there! Quickly, someone's in trouble! Fine work. Are you all right, madam?
Just a few bruises from where I fell. Nothing compared to what was in store for me. I honestly thought I was done for. My feet are not as swift as they once were, and I knew there was no one left to hear me scream. Not that I let that stop me. I should probably leave my old house behind and queue up outside Yulmore with the rest of them. Doubt those fancy lords and ladies would welcome an old crone like me. Still, even a shack near the gate has to be safer than staying here.
One would hope. Either way, I suggest you avoid wandering alone, lest you make the Sin Eater's task any easier.
Thank you again. You saved my life. Now I'm sure a strapping lass like you has little to fear, but I wouldn't linger long in this place. There's naught to be had here but cobwebs and memories.
'Tis as the lady says. Many in these parts have abandoned their homes to live in Yulmore's shadow. Should the Sin Eaters descend upon this region, there are precious few with the strength to fight them off. Speaking of which, what have you been told of these monsters? A brief history then. 'Twas not long after the flood swallowed the better part of the world that the Sin Eaters first appeared, some beastly, some beauteous. Yet regardless of their form, all seem incapable of speech, and all are driven by the same insatiable appetite for mortal ether. They are predators, and we are their prey. Colucia suffers from far fewer attacks than most regions, but even so, the list of the Sin Eaters' victims grows longer by the day. A tragedy without end. Still, we have won a small victory this time at least. Now shall we press on? We need to return to where the road forks and follow the path that leads west.
That gate up ahead is known as the Open Arms, and Yulmore itself lies beyond. This, meanwhile, is the aptly named Gate Town, the dwelling place of the many desperate souls who hope to be chosen to live in the city proper.
Ah, I thought I recognised you. Brought a new friend, eh? I'll bet you got a trick or two up your sleeve. Maybe even 3. Care to show me?
She's not here to compete. Leave her be.
What? I was only making conversation.
Gentlemen, your attention, please! Greetings to our hopeful petitioners, one and all! Yulmore extends its warmest regards. Let it be known that a lady of distinction wishes to dine on fish divine. We seek a master culinarian who can guarantee seafood perfection. Dazzle the matron with your delicious dishes, and life in the city will be yours to enjoy, even on days when fish is not on the menu. Who among you will answer the call? Name yourself or another. We may not at all.
Do you recall how I said Yulmore was a centre of power and authority? Well, that is not the only reason for its fame. It is also known as the City of Final Pleasures. The noble and the wealthy who survived the flood gathered here to live out the rest of their days in decadent abandon. A poor man could sooner pass through the eye of a needle than Yulmore's gates. The only way the common folk can enter this perverted paradise is if they fulfill the whim of one of the privileged, and so they are picked over like market produce.
What a catch! We'll not be throwing this one back! Having seen your all too obvious charms, we welcome you with open arms. Come, join us in the city of splendor and live out your life in an ecstasy of endeavor. Oh, just look at those expectant faces. What could you possibly be waiting for? What have we here? An extra share of meal to celebrate our newest resident! For you!
Ah,
Enjoy!
Thank goodness.
Meal is a foodstuff which Yulmore routinely doles out to the people of Gatetown, and apparently a staple for its citizens as well. Many here rely on it to survive in these times of scarcity, yet the whole arrangement just seems... well, let's just say it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
The dubious privilege of residency must be won via a contest with ever-changing rules. They say this policy has been in place for the past 2 decades, ever since Yulmore's current ruler came into power. Yet from what I have seen, it does more harm than good. Not only does it distract people from our shared struggle against the Sin Eaters, it robs them of their self-sufficiency. I have tried to propose ways they could improve their lot, but my words invariably fall on deaf ears. The attitude is so entrenched now, I worry that, well, mayhap you should take a turn around Gatetown and judge the situation for yourself. Go, take the measure of Gatetown. I shall wait here.
To get inside. Of course you are. Who wouldn't want to live each day with a full belly and a pretty partner on each arm, eh?
So you can imagine how little I enjoy living in this stinking filth.
Did you hear what happened to that girl?
I just need to hold my nose until the day I can walk through that gate.
Just look at it. Can you imagine a more beautiful city? Every day I dream of the life that waits for me inside those walls. Oh, will they ever pick me?
Still here, are you? Can't blame you for wanting a slice of Yulmore's pie. If you ask me, you should ditch that sour-faced brat and make a home for yourself here. Gatetown's not much to look at, aye, but at least it's safe. And the meal is the best thing I've ever tasted.
These people can no longer fend for themselves. They've become dependent on handouts of meal, and believe Yulmore is the answer to all their woes. Yet no matter how I frame my encouragement, they seem unwilling, nay, unable to conceive of any other way of life. Disapprove. It frustrates me, certainly. That is only part of it, though. The whole situation makes me uneasy. Not that it matters. However unjust this system seems to me, if these people claim to be content with their lot, it is hardly my place to criticize their choices. But take that elderly lady you rescued. Does it not seem that those who have chosen to forego Yulmore's largesse are doomed to suffer for their independence? In the end, they are all but forced to seek refuge in Gatetown, and so hamlets and fields across the island are left empty and untended, hastening the region's descent into ruin. Nay, I am not convinced that Ulmore's generosity truly serves the best interests of Calusia's people. I am not so naive as to think there is some miraculous solution to all of this. Yet I cannot help but frown at the sight of hard-working villagers struggling to survive, even as the chosen few rejoice at being plucked from poverty by the hand of a capricious noble. There has to be a better way. I will not know for sure, however, until I have taken those long-delayed steps through Yulmore's gates. 'Tis fortunate that you arrived when you did. I have been working on a scheme to insinuate myself into the city, and if all goes to plan, it should soon come to fruition. There is a beast tribe who makes its home in the seas surrounding the island. The Ondo, they are called, though you and I know them as Sarhagin. For the most part, they keep to themselves in their ocean grottos and rarely have dealings with land dwellers. But as Tataru took such great pains to impress upon me during our stay in Kugane, business favors the bold. And so I reached out to them. I duly discovered that the Ondo are inordinately fond of land-grown produce, fresh fruits in particular. And when I offered to procure such goods for them, they promised to pay me in pearls. An attractive business venture for any prospective investor, would you not agree? Surely even the most jaded Ilmoran lord would have time for a merchant who can make pearls from plums and pumpkins. Yes, I've come a long way since my days of buying samurai swords without first negotiating a price. My appointment with the Ondo is due to take place in a few hours. I just need to collect the produce and meet with them on the shore. Might you help me make the exchange? Excellent, I should be glad of your company. First things first, we must pay a visit to Mosha Moa, my supplier in Right. Come, it is just to the northwest of here. Good day to you, Moshamoa. This is my associate. We are here to collect the produce I purchased.
Huh? I loaded your lackey up with the goods not long ago.
My lackey? I know of no such person.
Mr. Lad, short blue hair. No? He said he'd come on your behalf, and since he seemed to know all the details, I just assumed...
Confound it. Someone must have been eavesdropping on our conversation. If this charlatan was here not long ago, he cannot have gone far. We should split up and search the area. You find a vantage point on the south side of town, and I shall take the west. Friend, any sign of him? You've a keen eye. Let us move in before he makes good his escape.
There you are. The thief who claims the harvest on my behalf. Hand it over.
Forgive me. I have to get into the city. I have no family and all my friends have already been chosen. No one here gives a damn about me. When the meal gets handed out, I'm lucky if I get a smell of it. No matter what I do, they won't call out my name. I'm so tired, I'm so bloody hungry. I thought maybe I could steal your idea, get in that way.
What is your name?
Kaishir.
Tell me then, Kaishir, must it be Yulmore or nothing? What of the Christerium? They may not offer charity, but you would be fairly compensated for any work you did.
No, it has to be Yulmore. That's where all my friends are. We made a promise that we'd live together in paradise.
I was to make my deal with the Ondo at the Clave. Listen carefully, and I shall tell you my plans for the business, and how best to arouse the Yulmoran's interest.
You'll give me your place? Just like that?
I'm giving you a chance, nothing more. What comes of it is entirely up to you.
I understand. Oh, thank you, thank you!
This was but one path. There will be others. But for young Kaishir, it was the difference between life and death. I do not regret my decision, yet I will admit that a part of me wonders if it was for the best. We strive to bring swift salvation to this world, that countless lives might be saved, not least your own. Even if it came at the cost of one man, should I have forged on regardless? I suppose not. Were Estinian here, he would most likely scoff at my soft-heartedness.
Same old Alfino, ever the slave to sentiment.
But I thank you for your kind words nonetheless. Let us see to it that both these stories have a happy ending. Shall we return to Wright then? Is that... I can't be sure, but I think someone's in trouble. Come on, they may need our help.
Here. He's breathing, I think. Though he won't last long without help.
Mercy, mercy, I beg you.
Breathe easy, sir. No harm will come to you here. The poor man is shivering. Pray keep an eye on him while I get a fire going.
I thought for certain I was dead. How am I ever to repay this kindness?
We'll settle for the tale behind your current predicament. Why don't you begin by telling us your name?
Tristal. I was invited into Yulmore to work as an artist. A wealthy couple took me in to paint pictures for them. But when my style proved contrary to their taste, they just as quickly turfed me out onto the street. I was left penniless and patronless, a grave sin in Lord Vorthry's city. Within days, they had brought me before the man himself, and he asked me what I meant to do. Dejected as I was, I told him that I wished to leave. Little did I know how soon he would grant me my wish. They flung me over the balustrade into the God's damned ocean.
From up there, how were you not dashed to pieces?
Don't ask me. Luck, I suppose. Though, if you hadn't found me when you did, it wouldn't have counted for much.
Monstrous. And the citizens condone such barbaric punishment?
Oh, without a second thought. When Lord Vorthry passes judgment, no one so much as blinks, let alone argues. In Yulmore, his word is law.
The more I hear about Yulmore, the more determined I am to see what waits within its walls. I shall bend all my thoughts towards securing another way into the city. There must be something we can do. But first, we should convey Tristal to the shelter of the village. Fire or no fire, he needs to be out of this chilly coastal air.
A way into the city? Pray accept my deepest gratitude. I owe you both my life. And, if you'll permit me, I would assist you in your attempt to enter Yulmore, insofar as I am able, at any rate. To be frank, the thought of sending my saviors into that awful place makes me sick to the stomach. But since it's plain you've set your minds on it, you should take this. It's my favorite paintbrush. The Ulmoran elite are never satisfied until they get exactly what they want. And if I'm not mistaken, the couple I mentioned will be looking for someone to replace me. If you make a show of owning such a well-used brush, you may be able to convince people you have a talent for painting.
Are you certain? This is your livelihood. We cannot deprive you of such a treasured possession.
I give it gladly after all you've done for me. Besides, I don't think I have the heart to paint anymore. As to what I'll do instead, I honestly haven't decided. But I shan't stay long in this place, not with that city brooding over me. Nay, I'll move on to new lands and a new profession, and I'll keep you in my prayers from now until my dying day. Should you make it into the city, have care what you say and do. I wouldn't want you to save my life only to lose your own.
They say kindness is its own reward, but Tristal has repaid us with a gift as timely as it was unexpected. We will, however, need to act upon his advice before another painter steps in to fill the vacancy. Thankfully, I do have some modest skill with a brush. Nothing approaching that of a true artist, of course, but enough to play the role, I would hope. As for you, well, if you don't mind taking a subordinate role, mayhap you could pose as my assistant. Then it is settled. All we need do now is return to Gate Town and await the next appearance of those vile jesters. Here they come.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention once more. What a day it's been for the folks at our door. We've welcomed a peddler who made pearls from a plum, and now we've a place for a painter of a plum. So, come along, and don't be slow. It's time to let your colours show.
I can paint. Portraits, at least. Landscapes and still lifes are so rarely commissioned these days.
Oh, I thought I spied some new faces in the crowd. What fortune that you should feel at ease around an easel. What proof have you of your prowess? Any masterpieces on your person?
Sadly not. Everything I paint is soon sold. Such is the life of a working artist. I have only my brush to testify for me. though you will note that it has seen no small amount of service.
Aha! Ho-ho, Flecks of paint, both old and new, a tool much loved and not a prop to be conjured on the hop. Very well, come with us, and we'll put those talents to the test. And who is this hanger-on? Well-wisher or parasite?
Why, this is my assistant. She whose unfailing support allows my art to flourish. I will go with her, or not at all.
Parasite, then. We shall leave her fate in the hands of your new employer. It matters not a whit to us. And having filled our latest vacant space, we retire to Ulmore's sweet embrace. Oh, mercy me, the meal. We almost took our leave without leaving a loving token. We must empty the sacks ere we make our way back.
Redemption is beyond us. The lament of all but saints and fools, and the comfort of the lords and ladies of this accursed place. Once they held fast against the madness, only to embrace the coming cataclysm and delight in the end of days. Perhaps in rapture they seek to lose themselves and the misery they share. Or perhaps for them alone, the promise of eternal pleasure really does hold true.